What is the biggest mistake you see entrepreneurs make when starting a new business? Part one. I'm going to take a little bit of a different approach to answer today's question. Normally, my focus is almost exclusively on legal related matters, and that's definitely going to be a huge component of what I talk about here as well. But since I've worked with so many different types of clients as they're just starting to build their businesses, plus I've started a few businesses of my own over the years with varying degrees of success, I think that I'm qualified enough to broaden the scope of this answer a bit to include non-legal mistakes as well. Here are the first four of the 8 most common mistakes I see when an entrepreneur is getting their new business up and running. We'll cover another 4 in our follow-up video. First, insufficient market research. This comes first because it really is one of the fundamental questions aspiring entrepreneurs should ask themselves. Whatever product you want to sell or service you want to offer, are there enough people willing to pay for it at a sustainable price in the geographical area in which you expect to operate? If you're committed to making a living off this business, but you don't know the answer to this question, you need to stop everything else until you figure it out. If a customer base at your desired market price simply doesn't exist, then unless it is something you do primarily for the enjoyment of it, and you're converting it into a side hustle to maybe make some extra cash for giggles, which for the record is awesome, and I fully encourage this, you need to deeply consider whether here and now is the right time and place to start this particular business at all, at least in its present form. Second, underestimating startup costs. How much capital will it take to start your business and sustain it until it is profitable? Hopefully you came to that number based on a reasonable estimate from your initial budget or some other sound methodology. Regardless, I'd say take that number and increase it by 30%, or better, double it. Do you have that amount of money saved up and dedicated to this venture? It is remarkable how often and by how much new entrepreneurs underestimate the cost involved in setting up a new business, as well as how long it will take to become profitable. Not every business can survive this miscalculation. Third, choosing the wrong business structure. This is the type of mistake that often isn't uncovered until either A, your CPA files your first tax return and informs you that choosing an inappropriate entity type or making the wrong tax selection caused your tax bill to double, or B, you're a few years down the road when you're ready to sell your business or add investors, and the inappropriate structure leads buyers haggling or investors wavering. I've commented in other videos how limited liability companies, or LLCs, are a great choice for most new businesses, but there are plenty of exceptions and caveats. When in doubt, ideally you'll ask a lawyer, but you can also ask your mentor or tap into your local business community network for advice. And fourth, willful ignorance of legal requirements. Now, I appreciate that legal compliance can seem like one of the most excruciatingly boring parts of starting up your new business, especially if it's your very first business and you don't know where to begin. And if you're sticking to your well-planned budget, the solution is not always going to be to just throw some money at a lawyer, whom you may or may not actually be able to pay at the end of the month to make it go away. But ignoring the issue also won't make it go away. Fines and sanctions can cripple your business, and in some industries, failure to have the appropriate licenses or permits in place can shut you down entirely and even lead to civil or criminal liability. So make a good faith effort to figure out what legal requirements apply to your new venture. Now, don't be discouraged if you see yourself in any of these mistakes. Even the most successful owners have made them. And as I'll emphasize in the second video, recognizing and learning from them will set you apart and propel you forward. Business owners, what lessons have you learned from past mistakes or misunderstandings when starting up a new business?